O'Neill Outside Radio is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Works Power and Garden Tools. Toyota, let's go places. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Big Green Egg, the most popular and most versatile ceramic grill. Huff Shed, great storage sheds and custom buildings. Year One, classic car parts for American muscle cars. Arctic Ice, the most durable, versatile, and effective cooler packs available. Timbuktu Outdoors, the ideal solution to live bait. Furminator, the best food plot implement on earth. And the Georgia Department of Natural Resources and State Parks.
From Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangled studio at Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia mountains, it's time for O'Neill Outside. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Well, welcome to Works Radio. O'Neill is back. Have you missed me? Oh, I know you did. Scott did a wonderful job, but nevertheless, here's O'Neill. And we have 2 hours of outdoors headed your way, and we've got a lot of things to handle today. You know, deer season just ended, fishing is beginning, and turkey season is around the corner. And we're going to venture into some new territories today about climate change. Gosh, it's a touchy subject, but we'll get to it. Let me tell you that this program is brought to you every Saturday morning by the following sponsors: Works Tools, Stripling's General Store, Tough Shed, Snellville Heating and Air, Rocco's Pub, the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, Big Green Egg, Smokers and Grills, True Turn Hooks, Roadrunner Lures, and of course, Tough Shed. And we are at Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia mountains. I got a little studio here. It's kind of makeshift. You should see it someday. It's kind of wild, but nevertheless, we have a lot to do. What are we going to do today? Well, I want to remind you that you can watch the radio program on Facebook by Monday. All the ads are taken out, and you can watch the show, and several thousand of you do. I can't imagine why, but nevertheless, you can watch it on Facebook. Let's see. We're on the SB Nation and WSB 95.5, WSB AM and FM across the country in the 38 states, and the SB Nation, yes indeed, 155 stations, affiliate stations all over the country. And you can watch it, listen there on radio. You can visit O'NeillOutside.com. There you will find all the networks where you can watch the video on demand O'Neill Outside television program, including all the Fox networks with a weekly program. And let's see what else to tell you about. This is all self-serving. I would tell you that you can go to the website and you can order O'Neill's book directly. I will sign it for you. It's called O'Neill Outside, People and Places Along the Way. You can get all the Big Green Egg recipes, watch all the shows on file on that page, and all the Swaggerty sausage. We've got a busy morning. Come back right after this break and we'll get it started.
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
After 38 years, our buildings speak for themselves. Dream, design, and build at toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
With Arctic ice in your cooler, the possibilities are endless. Built in the USA. Built to last. Never buy ice again. Arctic Ice. No hassle, no mess. Colder than the rest.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works AeroCart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is AeroCart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, AeroCart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works AeroCart today. Available at Works.com.
The Furminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment combines a rugged gear-driven tiller with the proven seed delivery and cultipacking systems that made the Furminator famous. The RT heavy-duty tiller allows true one-pass planting in most soil types like never before. An added feature is the tiller and seeder can be separated and used independently, making the RT perfect for a small garden at home or a large field food plot. The Furminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're opened. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's see, the telephone numbers are, if you'd like to join us, in the Atlanta, Georgia area, it is 404-872-0750, 404-872-0750, and across the country, from all over the United States, it's 800-972-8255, 800-972-8255. Love to entertain your calls. No politics, no finances, no gossip, no show business. It's outdoors, you and your family with O'Neill. This is very, very personal. So let me make a couple of self-service announcements, recommendations. Then I'm going to get to something that you may deem a little bit political, but I'll introduce it. Number one, for Georgians, I would certainly recommend that you get the Department of Natural Resources newsletter. It's extremely well done, some fabulous videos, and they aren't ads. They're about whales off the Georgia coast. They're about the animals that live in Georgia, and it's just extremely well done. There's no object in it except to inform you, okay? Then the second thing, what else is I going to do about that? Well, I don't remember. Let's see. Let me look. Okay, I'm done. Now, we're going to get to something that's not political. It sounds political. It's not political. I have no agenda in telling you the following things, and I have no purpose in it other than I think part of what my job is, what I do, why I do this program, is to inform you as an outdoorsman so that you can respond properly on subjects about the outdoors, about the animals and the critters that live there, what the Department of Natural Resources, what they do in each state, who pays for it, and all that sort of thing. So I have a little rundown for you right here, and I'll let you judge by it. And if this is too political for you, then I offer my apologies. But I have done some research from, I think, some very credible resources. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration. As you probably well know, if you've listened to the program over the years, you know I will always, I'll go with the opinion of the Department of Natural Resources, the biologists, the scientists who say about wildlife populations and what we're doing or not doing or what we should do. I go with that. I don't go with campfire gossip. So, listen carefully on the subject of climate change and whether man has anything to do with it. Ready? At 15 after the hour, here goes. 16,000 years ago on this planet was the end of what's called the Holocene warming period. The Ice Age was ending and the temperatures were warming. As a matter of fact, that was the end of the last Ice Age. The Arctic ice began to melt and the air temperature was climbing. 10,500 years ago, it started cooling off again. It was a prolonged period of Ice Age. Then it began to warm again. 4,000 years ago, which was called by the NASA, it was called the climatic optimum. Warming conditions. Temperatures were about 2 degrees warmer than they are today. Great ancient civilizations began and formed. 5,000 years ago, cooling trends, drop in sea level, and the emergence of islands. Does that sound like now? Well, it does a little bit. 4,000 years ago. Oh my goodness, it warmed up again. Up to today's temperatures. 3,000 years ago. Cooling trends. The renewed ice growth. Sea level dropped by 6 feet below present day levels. 2,000 years ago, slight warming and another climatic optimum period of time. 1,000 years ago, cooling trend. The Nile River and the Black Sea actually froze. Now into the 1st century, another climatic warming period. Matter of fact, the warmest climate since the climatic warming period and since the Vikings established settlement in Greenland and Iceland. Now back to the year 1300 of our common era. Extent that most people abandoned settlements in the southeastern part of the United States. Now I stopped. 2 more things to tell you, but I'm going to stop and make an observation. Keep in mind as an outdoorsman. And I tell you these things to arm you so that when you see things on television, you see all these political things, and maybe you're approached by somebody who believes that, you don't have to just shrug your shoulders and say, I don't know. You can look this up. Because all that I just described to you, there wasn't a single automobile, there wasn't a single coal-fired plant, there wasn't a single oil-fired or gas-fired power plant. There was nothing that man was doing to increase the CO2 levels on Earth. Nothing. But it warmed and cooled and warmed and cooled 6 times during those thousands of year period. The date is 1850, 169 years ago. The coldest temperatures since the ending of the Holocene era. The populations died from crop failure and famine in Europe. Still no automobiles. Still no power plants. A little ice age. And 1850, 160 years ago to the present, a warming trend. As a matter of fact, is less than 2 degrees difference than the temperature was 16,000 years ago. we have nothing to do with global warming. There's nothing to do to stop it. There's nothing to do to cause it. CO2 is good for the planet. It makes things grow. But the Green New Deal and all this panic worldwide about, oh my goodness, the sea levels are going to rise. Let me tell you something. The Gulf used to reach, the Gulf Coast went from Augusta, Georgia, to Macon, Georgia, to Montgomery, Alabama, to Jackson, Mississippi, and there used to be an inland sea that went from Alberta, Canada, all the way to the Gulf Coast. We had nothing to do with it. Now, you can look that up to see if what I've told you is true. You will know more, and you'll be able to tell people those things when they say, oh my goodness, we're in a panic. We've got to do something about global warming. It's the natural tilt of the earth during its route around the sun.
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
Brought to you by Ragsdale Plumbing. The new you can trust. I live in a 1938 house. I'm terrified of water and sewer. So I called Ragsdale Plumbing out. Now I know there's ghosts.
After 38 years, our buildings speak for themselves. Dream, design, and build at toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
With Arctic ice in your cooler, the possibilities are endless. Built in the USA, built to last. Never buy ice again. Arctic ice, no hassle, no mess, colder than the rest.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works AeroCart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is AeroCart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, AeroCart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works AeroCart today. Available at works.com.
The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment combines a rugged gear-driven tiller with the proven seed delivery and cultipacking systems that made the Verminator famous. The RT heavy-duty tiller allows true one-pass planting in most soil types like never before. An added feature is the tiller and seeder can be separated and used independently, making the RT perfect for a small garden at home or a large field food plot. The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're open. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That's some information passed along to you. Let me tell you the telephone numbers if you'd like to discuss that and our normal outdoor activities. 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. I suggest you look all that up yourself. The more you know, the more you can enjoy the outdoors, and whether it's television or the news or whatever, the more you know, the more you can enjoy it. Right now, hey, here's our old buddy Don is calling from.
Ocean Isle, North Carolina.
You're the greatest, man.
How you doing,
you are
Kevin?
Indeed. I'm doing fine. You're sounding good, buddy. When is the fishing going to start?
Well, you know, we're beginning to get a little older, and this year we're probably going to be in the middle of March. So there's been some people out there, and the black bass are very, very plentiful. They've changed the creel limit on those for some time ago. So they're very prolific and grow very fast. So.
Oh yeah, that
so
sure is a good eating
there.
fish.
Yes, I think the moral of that story is everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. I heard that sometimes.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And I don't think we can do anything about it. It is what it is, as they say now.
Hey, it's all written out for you.
To March, and Duncan and Ross are trying to get their October schedule so they can make that trip with you down to Louisiana.
Oh boy, okay, yeah. Write that down. October the 22nd.
Yeah, they've got that penciled in. Of course, the glass business that's a very busy time for them. Everybody wants to close up the building before the end of the year, but if it's any way possible, they're going to be there. So.
Oh boy, well let's when they and if they can make the firm commitment. We should absolutely do that because I can assure you I'll fill up the lodge.
Yeah, I'm sure you will because that's got to be a very enjoyable trip to be there with that crowd and with that much fishing going on and the food that you eat while you're there. So.
Oh man, the only thing wrong with visiting Cajun Vista Lodge in October, there's only one thing wrong with it. Ready?
Yes, sir.
They've got that whiny New Orleans music playing all the time, and after a couple of days of that, you're saying, "Hey, will you stop it, please, and put something else on?"
But chances are, as they say on that song, I think somebody wrote that. That ain't gonna happen.
No, they're gonna stick with it.
They're going to do what they do in New Orleans, and they shouldn't change, or in Louisiana, so they shouldn't change a thing because that's a very fun place to be.
Have you ever spent any time in New Orleans or on that portion of the Gulf Coast?
I have not. I had a customer, Brad Glass, down in New Orleans, visited him down there, and he was a Cajun and also a character. So.
Okay, well, I will tell you that the social activity with people in the New Orleans area, they're all fun. They all have a joke to tell. They're all smiling. They're just culturally, they're just an very enjoyable society.
They enjoy life.
Yes, absolutely.
I had a friend that went down there duck hunting, and when he got back, this was about 15, 20 years ago, when he got back, they UPS'd him a package from down there and told him he left this, and they had been down there duck hunting.
Uh-huh.
And when he opened the package in his office, it was packed full of pin feathers from ducks.
Oh, they're always looking to do something fun.
2 or 3 years later, you'd be there, and here'd come a pin feather out from under the...
That's great. That's great. Well, Don, I'm glad you...
Enjoy your show, and glad you and Gail got to go up to see the man. So.
Oh, yeah, we did that last week, and it's as enjoyable as ever. Don, thanks for calling, sir.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy your show.
You bet. I hope to see you soon, and I'm looking forward to our trip. Okay, here at O'Neill Outside Radio, the local in Jasper, Georgia, there's a fabulous local chicken wing, steak, hamburger entertainment place called Rocco's. It's Rocco's Pub, which is Rocco's Public House. I'm about to give away to you a $25 gift certificate so that you can go to Rocco's and enjoy it. It's great. Gail and I go there at least once a week. What you have to do is, to the following two telephone numbers, 404-872-0750 or 1-800-972-8255. You have to give me the name or answer the following question. O'Neill has had a truck sponsor for the television show for 14 years. What is the brand of the truck that sponsors O'Neill Outside Television? Okay, it's 31 after the hour. Right now, let's see, I've got time for this, certainly. Let's talk to Alan is calling from Rabun Gap, Georgia. Good morning, Alan. This is O'Neill. Welcome to the program, sir. Alan, did I not do that correctly? Maybe after I get about another couple of decades of experience, I'll know how to work this thing. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, O'Neill. How are you this morning?
Lovely, thank you.
Yes, sir. Just calling you from Rabun Gap, where we've got a nice blanket of snow up here. It's,
do
it's
you
beautiful.
Indeed?
Yes, sir.
Well, Rabun Gap, pardon me, then we'll get to the subject of your call, but Rabun Gap is the home of the mother's side of my family.
It is a beautiful spot in the state of Georgia. I can assure you of that.
Most of them were born in Tiger, Georgia.
Oh yeah, man, that's a great place down there by the lake. It's beautiful indeed. Well, I was going to chime in on the climate change deal.
Okay.
To me, I'm a reasonable man, and I think that most people I know are reasonable. And like you pointed out, there are some facts that we can look at, and in terms of records of temperatures, and average temperature. I think that the variables come into what causes that, and it seems to me that there are groups out there that want to basically tell us these days that that we're bad people for industrialization and advancing our technologies and maybe advancing our way of life, and that perhaps there's instead of making the change, good changes, maybe recycling more and reusing more and being more efficient with what we do, they're looking for a way to tax us based on behavior and kind of putting forth, and this is just my interpretation of it, that if we pay more taxes, that the government entities will be able to somehow affect the climate, and that's where they lose me. Like, I'm reasonable. Like, let's make changes. If that means being, like I said, recycling, reusing, those kind of things, I think are okay. But to too often, it seems like we turn immediately to taxation and
control.
Yeah, exactly. Controlling behavior and basically, a little bit. And again, my interpretation that we're bad people for advancing our society and advancing civilization. The terrible combustion engine and my diesel truck. It's somehow there should be guilt associated with that, for which I have no guilt about it. But I think it's okay to be there's a good middle ground here. Like, you can be reasonable, but too often it seems like in today's climate, and I don't mean temperature climate, but more political climate. A disagreement on the ideas means that somebody is bad people. They're evil people. Certainly. And they don't. And that was my 2 cents on it.
All right. Well, that is a reasonable response, I might say, because if you do a little research, it's plain as day the cycles of freezing and warming. And we had nothing to do with it. During the period of time that I referred to earlier, people didn't even know how to cook then, much less build a car or a power plant.
Right.
They were hunter-gatherers. And if they got
and as I look back, just and I'm in my 50s, but I do think that we've kind of gotten a little fancy in our world in general, right? Like, I mean, I'm kind of a simple kind of guy. Like, I like the old school way of doing things. I heat my house with wood, and I like things. But
yes,
but I don't look negatively upon people who choose to live a little bit different way. You've got one of those computers that can tell us your house is good for you. It's just not my thing. But I don't associate that behavior with being a bad people. I choose a little bit more simple way of life. So
I agree.
I don't know. I think there's a good middle ground here. We don't have to make anybody a bad or evil group of people because they see something different than everybody else does.
And I'm being repetitive, but the reason I brought up that subject today was for people like you and other people, other outdoors people. I'm not talking to politicians right now. I'm talking to the average guy who might be confronted with this prospect that it's our fault that the earth is warming up right now. No, it's not.
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, you make a great point, and that's the takeaway. And that's why I say if reasonable people and reasonable minds get together, we can make some good changes.
Absolutely.
And that's I'm all for that. But I just don't like being told that I'm the bad guy for being productive and going about my business. Anyway, man, I'll let you go.
Okay.
I've been a long time listener. I do want to tell you, I've been listening since the 90s, and I enjoyed it as much today as I did back then.
You bet. Thanks for calling, my good friend.
Yes, sir. Take care.
You bet. Enjoy the weekend. This is O'Neill.
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
After 38 years, our buildings speak for themselves. Dream, design, and build at toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
With Arctic ice in your cooler, the possibilities are endless. Built in the USA, built to last. Never buy ice again. Arctic ice, no hassle, no mess, colder than the rest.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works Aero Cart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is Aero Cart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, Aero Cart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works Aero Cart today. Available at Works.com.
The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment combines a rugged gear-driven tiller with the proven seed delivery and cultipacking systems that made the Verminator famous. The RT heavy-duty tiller allows true one-pass planting in most soil types like never before. An added feature is the tiller and seeder can be separated and used independently, making the RT perfect for a small garden at home or a large field food plot. The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're open. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
Welcome back, everyone. It's 40 minutes after the hour. Let's get the question answered here. Let's see. The question was? What was the question? What was, is that right? I'm getting lost here. What's the brand of truck that has been sponsoring O'Neill Outside Television for the last 14 years? And Gary is calling from Kentucky. And Gary, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hello, Gary. How did you know that?
I've been watching your podcast for the last couple of years.
Okay, well, excellent. And what is the brand of truck that sponsors O'Neill Outside?
Toyota.
Ah, yes, indeed, Toyota. It's been a wonderful record. Now, you're going to win a $25 gift certificate to Rocco's Pub in Jasper, Georgia. Do you plan to use it?
Yes.
Okay. That's what counts. You will enjoy yourself. I would tell you to be sure and get an order of the deep-fried mushrooms and the jalapeno poppers. Outstanding.
Okay, sounds good.
You bet. Appreciate you calling, sir. I hope you enjoy it.
All right,
give us
thank
a couple
you.
of weeks to get. Give us a couple of weeks to get it to you. Do we have your information to send it to you?
I believe so. It's 381 Witt Road, Bowling Green, Kentucky, 42101.
Bowling Green. That's a good place. I've been there before. Thank you for calling, Gary.
Okay, you're welcome.
You bet. I hope to hear from you again soon. Oh, my goodness. Here's our old buddy, Milton Crabapple. Good morning, Milton. How are you?
O'Neill?
Yes,
Milton
sir.
Crabapple. How you doing this morning?
Hello, Milton. I'm
How you
doing just
doing this
fine. How are
morning?
you? It's all lovely. It's early, isn't it?
It's early. Yeah, I tell you, it was. Gary was a talkative fellow, wasn't he?
That's right. Tell me, what have you got planned for turkey season?
Well, I ain't through with squirrel season yet. Today's the last day of squirrel season.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
one more
I saw
trip this morning.
I
Then I'll
saw
be
the
going
recipe
turkey hunting.
that you. Yeah, I saw the recipe that you had for squirrel on Facebook. It sure did look good.
Well, it is good. You know, we'll go out this morning. You know, this is a good time of year to kill some squirrels on account of they're big, they're fat, and then a lot of meat on them. And they're all just about down on the ground now looking for food. Because there ain't no food up in the trees.
Oh,
so you can
that's
you
a
can
good
use
point.
that to your advantage when you're hunting.
Oh, that's a good tip right there.
Oh, what I like to do is me and Dude will go through the woods, and I like to use a shotgun this time of year, and just go through some thick woods, kind of spread out a little ways apart. And if you're real quiet, you'll come up on them squirrels before they know you're there, because they're probably going to be on the ground. And all of you keep your eyes peeled, and then you'll see one run up the side of a tree and stop and look and see what you are. Now, if you're careful, you can nail him right then off the side of the tree. But if he goes around the other side, then one of you just walks around the other side, and he'll come around your side, so it's easy to get them this time of year. And they're big squirrels, too.
I have heard from you before that squirrel hunting is a two-man job, so to speak.
Well, it depends on how you do it. Now, I used to like to slip around if you got a place where there's a bunch of white oak trees in the earlier part of the season, and you can just slip around, and they'll be up in the top of them trees, and you can see the limbs shaking up in there. And then I just walked around and looked for the limbs shaking, and then you can just ease up under him with a good .22 rifle and knock him out of there. But this time of year, it ain't like that, because they're on the ground. They're wary. Or they'll run up the side of a tree, and sometimes he'll give you a shot then, but if they don't, you just send somebody around the other side, and they'll come back around to your side.
Tell me, how long now we're talking about the gray squirrel that we see so much of. How long
carolinensis.
Oh, I'm impressed that you know that. How long do they live?
Well, about 1 to 2 years. A 2-year-old one would be an old one.
I see.
Kind of unusually. Most small game animals like squirrels and rabbits and doves and quail and all that stuff, about 1 to 2 years. But 1-year-olds, if they make it 1 year old, it's probably about like an 80-year-old person.
What? How many offspring do they have in the nest in a year?
Well, in a good year, they'll have as many as 4, but they usually have about 2 or 3.
I see. Okay.
And in a good year, if there's lots of mass, lots of nuts and all, they'll have 2 litters. They'll have one in the fall and one in the spring, too.
I didn't know that. I have seen from the deck up here, and you've been to my home, and they got little one little tenth of an acre of grass out front. It's not really grass, it's just growth. And I have noticed them burying acorns.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
They bury them all the time, and then, of course, I think they forget where they put them a lot of times, too.
Oh, sure.
But they bury 1,000 of them, they'll find 100 or two,
mm-hmm. And
but I had something, you was talking about this global warming thing.
Okay, uh-huh.
I've been thinking about that, and I've been watching it through the years and listening to what folks say. And I come up on a trend that I believe contributes to it. Now, you say that man don't contribute to it, but I got a feeling he does in a way. Now, if you'll think back years and years ago, before they started all this global warming stuff that they're talking about today, I want you to think back on it now.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, when we was growing up, there wasn't no jalapeno peppers.
Okay.
Folks didn't eat them things.
Right.
I don't know if you ever eat them before, but them things produce a lot of methane.
Yes,
sir.
Yes, they
now,
do.
you got 300 million people munching on them jalapenos all the time. That's a lot of methane gas, O'Neill.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes, sir. That'll warm up a planet in a heartbeat.
Well, it warms up a lot of stuff.
It sure does. But now, you just think back on it. We didn't have these global warming problems till they started eating them jalapeno peppers.
Well, that's, you may have solved it right there.
Well, you just think back on it.
Okay.
Well, I got to run, O'Neill. I got stuff I got to do. Get ready to go squirrel hunting. I'm going to have to let you go.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, though. Is there anybody in the jail tonight?
No, sir.
Okay.
I let them out because it was the last day of squirrel season.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's a good idea.
Yes, sir.
Good idea. I hope you have a great day, Milton. There goes Milton. It don't take long. Oh gosh, what a pleasure he is. Okay, let's talk to on O'Neill Outside. Let's talk to Kathy. She's calling from Bogart, Georgia. Good morning, Kathy. This is O'Neill.
Good morning,
Welcome.
O'Neill. Welcome back from your
Thank you.
trip. Before you left on your trip, you were talking about a fishing trip that you remembered real well. I'm in my 80s. And yesterday would have been my 62nd wedding anniversary, but my husband has since passed. But anyway, we were newlyweds, and we went to Orleans, Vermont.
Oh.
And my husband was from Vermont, and he had fished every stream there was in the state and a lot of Canada. But anyway, we fished up there, and that was my first stream fishing. I grew up in Connecticut, and we did a lot of fishing in in the Long Island Sound.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he's teaching me how to fish, fly rod, stuff like that. Had a great time until I fell in the stream.
Oh.
And he had been playing with a huge trout. Oh, he was so mad. He lost that fish. Anyway, he was teaching me to fish, and I caught the biggest fish, and that didn't set too well either.
Oh, that's what made him mad.
Yeah, probably.
Good for you.
Also, this global warming.
Yes.
Being at my age, this is just a natural thing that's happened, like you said, from the beginning of time. But I remember we've lived in many different states. And when we lived in Columbia and Lexington, South Carolina, every time you went to dig in the sand to plant a tree or whatever, you'd come up with seashells.
Yes.
Because it used to be an ocean.
Absolutely, it did. That used to be the shoreline.
I know. So people that, like, I forget how you say her name, ACOS or whatever her name is. Anyway, she's full of it. Anyway.
You bet.
One of my daughters works at Stripling's in Bogart.
Oh, wonderful. What a terrific place.
You've probably run into her there not knowing. But anyway, I enjoy your show. Like I said, I'm in my 80s, and I listen to it every Saturday and say hello to Gail.
I will do that. And Gail and I are approaching our 80s also. We're both
congratulations.
We're both 76.
Oh, well, you got a way to go.
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for calling, and I want you to have a great weekend. Continue to listen, and please
I will.
please
I enjoy
call
the
more
show
often.
Very much.
Please
Thank
call
you.
more
Bye-bye.
often. I'd love to hear from you.
All right, bye-bye.
You bet. Thank you for calling. Oh, that's good. With reference to with reference to her mention about finding the seashells, 2 weeks ago, Gail and I went to Oklahoma, and we were having a discussion over dinner with a fellow by the name of Danny Pierce. Now, Danny is an outfitter. He's a guide, and matter of fact, he's a whitetail, mule deer, turkey, all that guide, and has an outfitting business. So he is a native of Oklahoma and North Texas, mostly North Texas. And we were talking and chatting, and he told me that we were finding out more about each other. It was fun. And he was telling me that when he was a young man, he worked in the oil fields. He was a roustabout, if you will. He worked on the oil towers, the drilling platforms. And he said they used to drill down 16,000 feet and take core samples of what was at those levels, down 16,000 feet in Texas. And they would bring up the core sample, and in the core sample almost every time was seashells and the remnants of sea life in North Texas at a level of 16,000 feet. If you'll think about that, that meant that what I said earlier and what you can research, that there used to be an inland sea from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to Alberta, Canada. And it was sea life in that ocean. It was a shallow sea. And there's still evidence of that. And what goes on here in, 50 years, it is a microsecond in geologic time. A microsecond. And we'll talk about further in that if you like. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. First hour of Outdoors with O'Neill Outside is almost gone, but we have so much more to talk about. Spring fishing and turkey hunting, and I've got something to say about that.
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
After 38 years, our buildings speak for themselves. Dream, design, and build at toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
With Arctic ice in your cooler, the possibilities are endless. Built in the USA, built to last. Never buy ice again. Arctic ice, no hassle, no mess, colder than the rest.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works Aero Cart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is Aero Cart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, AeroCart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works AeroCart today. Available at Works.com.
The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment combines a rugged gear-driven tiller with the proven seed delivery and cultipacking systems that made the Verminator famous. The RT heavy-duty tiller allows true one-pass planting in most soil types like never before. An added feature is the tiller and seeder can be separated and used independently, making the RT perfect for a small garden at home or a large field food plot. The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're open. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
Well, the first hour of O'Neill Outside is almost over, but we don't want to miss a conversation with Wade calling from Kentucky. Good morning, Wade.
Morning, O'Neill. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing just great.
How come the Thunder Chicken is starting to run around up here acting no crazy?
We're going to talk about that in the second hour. I have some recommendations. You know, O'Neill always has recommendations. So, we will in the second hour. I'm glad it's about to happen for you.
I got another question, though. Now, I've noticed lately, the deer, I'm seeing a lot of does hit. Is it that far behind, or is it just a coincidence?
Just coincidence, which is, the mate, the mating could have been late because of human influence that scattered the deer. It could be because of the food supply. It can be because of the ratio between the number of bucks and the number of does. It's always fluctuates. So if you're seeing more, could be you're just noticing more. That's the same number, but you notice more. It's never, ever quite the same.
Well, all the rain we've had on the Barren River has flushed them up. We leave a house, it ain't but about 3/4 mile to store, take a left. So you take a left, you go down and cross the river. And all that rain, it's flooded probably 50 yards one way and probably 100 the other.
Well, there you are. You answered your own question. You made
that long straightaway right there is where you see them.
That's right there. You've got them more concentrated. There's not more of them. They're just more concentrated.
Well, if you go up to the corner and you make a square, you come out the other way going toward Walmart in town, and you're on the other side of that same big piece of property. You see them over on that main road, too. It's a 4-lane.
There you are. There you are.
But I got to shout out to you. I'm right down the road from you.
Oh, yeah? Where?
I'm in Dawsonville, and I'm going to be right down the road. Yeah, I'm going to Billy's property today. We're going to start getting ready for fishing and all.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you got a great weekend coming up.
And then I'm going to your favorite place in Florida.
And?
Carabel. Got to finish up painting and get the cabinets in that place down there that Leonard, Kyle, and Paul's working on.
I got you. All right, I got to go, pal. Listen, have a great weekend and call back next week.
Put me on hold, now I'm listening to you on my cell phone.
Okay, I'll do that right now. There you go. This is O'Neill. Another hour of outdoors headed your way. Well, another hour of Works Radio headed your way. Outdoor subjects, if you will. We had a busy first hour, but we'll abandon some of those subjects and we'll return to a more regular programming. We talked about climate change in the first hour, and I'll do that again in a few weeks, but not now. Let's go ahead with some of our more traditional subject matter. It's my invitation for you to watch O'Neill Outside Television. You can watch it on Fox Networks. And if you'll visit O'Neill Outside, right there on the home page, you'll find out all of the video-on-demand networks that carry the program, along with the website and YouTube and all of those things. And if you're prone to watching O'Neill Outside Television and maybe learning something from my guests, then by all means you'll be able to do that. The podcast her mentioned, the Google and Apple and SoundCloud and all those ways you can listen to the podcast, and I invite you to do so. Beyond that, you can listen to the show, like this one, at WSB AM and FM 95.5 and 750 AM. And on the SB Nation, 155 affiliated sports broadcast or SB Nation stations across the country. That is our affiliate network, the SB Nation. So beyond that, the telephone numbers are 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. In this second hour, we'll have the radio prize package, the True Turn tackle tip, the mailbag, the Medal of Honor tribute, which is the highlight of the second hour of both hours of the program. And then we'll talk a little bit about turkey hunting and entertain your calls and your stories. It doesn't always have to be a question for O'Neill. Believe me, I am no better than the average fisherman and average hunter, but my profession has given me the opportunity, thank goodness, that I have been able to go to some awfully terrific fishing and hunting destinations. Believe me, I have. And but I'm just like you guys and ladies. I'm just an average hunter, average fisherman. So we'll get to all that just as soon as we return. We have Damon and Wade on the phones, and we'll get to your calls too. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside, and you stay right there.
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
After 38 years, our buildings speak for themselves. Dream, design, and build at toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
With Arctic ice in your cooler, the possibilities are endless. Built in the USA. Built to last. Never buy ice again. Arctic ice. No hassle, no mess. Colder than the rest.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works Aero Cart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is Aero Cart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, Aero Cart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works Aero Cart today. Available at works.com.
The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment combines a rugged gear-driven tiller with the proven seed delivery and cultipacking systems that made the Verminator famous. The RT heavy-duty tiller allows true one-pass planting in most soil types like never before. An added feature is the tiller and seeder can be separated and used independently, making the RT perfect for a small garden at home or a large field food plot. The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're opened. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
This is 12 after the hour. This is O'Neill, and before we get to our calls, it's my obligation and privilege to tell you that this program is brought to you every week by Works Tools. Stripling's General Store, Tough Shed, Snellville Heating and Air, Rocco's Pub, Georgia Department of Natural Resources, State Parks and Historic Sites, Big Green Eggs, Smokers and Grills, and True Turn Hooks and Runner Lures, among so many other things. Right now, before we get to the radio prize package question, let's talk to Damon, that's calling from somewhere in Atlanta. Good morning, Damon. You made it to the show. Welcome.
Good morning, Miss O'Neill. How you doing?
Lovely.
Good, good. I was correct. My name is Naaman. I think it was just a miscommunication. It starts with an N.
Right, Naaman. Okay, good. Great name.
All right. I always listen to you. I always listen to you every chance I get here in Atlanta. I'm really actually in McDonough, Georgia.
Okay.
And I was listening to your show on my way home here from work. I work at the AJC, and I was just tuning in to you. I just got off work a few minutes ago, and what I wanted to say was, I heard you talking to this fellow. Y'all was talking about squirrels.
Yes.
And he mentioned, you and him mentioned about the lifespan of a squirrel, and I was listening to the Animal Planet a few years back. I always listen to that show every chance I get. And they were saying about any species that has a heart has the same amount of heartbeat for its lifespan, no matter what species that is.
I have heard that.
It was on a show I was listening on the Animal Planet, and I thought I called it to your show because every so often I listen to it. I'm not a hunter or fisherman, but I talk to a lot of folks at work about hunting and fishing, and they got a very good knowledge of hunting and fishing. And I thought I'd call your show and talk to you about that particular subject because it's kind of interesting when I heard it that any species, that live has the same amount of heartbeat generally for his lifespan.
That is correct. I have read that before, and here's a great example of that.
Yeah.
A mouse, just a little house mouse.
Yes, exactly.
His heart beats 60 times a second.
Right.
So your point is well made, Naaman. It
I
really
see.
is. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very interesting. I appreciate you calling, sir.
Yeah, thank you,
Be
sir.
careful going home, and have a great weekend, my friend.
You too also.
You bet. See you soon.
Bet.
There you are. I tell you what, before we get to the radio prize package, let's talk to Mac. What do you say, Mac? How's the fishing in the transition?
Good morning, O'Neill. Fishing's been good. I'll tell you, I'm actually surprised with the influx of water we've had more than once. We've had a couple big rain dumps.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, man, the lake coming up, but fishing has held up well, and like I said, better than I thought it would, so it's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I didn't fish this week, of course, but I was around the lake, and I don't know, but it's been a long, long time since I've seen Lake Lanier so full and so muddy up the Chestatee and up the Chattahoochee.
Yeah, both rivers really got dirty, and if there's a problem with all this, that's been it. There's places where all that new muddy water made it tough, but if you come down the middle and lower parts of the lake, you can get away from that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's starting to moderate now up there. And, you and I have talked about this, gosh, over the years so many times, and I put it in the report all the time. I think the toughest condition to catch a fish out of is new, dirty water. And if
Correct.
it's new, cold, dirty water, that's one of the few times I'd tell you not to go fishing.
Me too.
Yeah, I feel like that's the one thing that's just, it's hard to trump that. But once it moderates, and this water wasn't that cold, so it wasn't really cold water, but now that it's moderated and it's turned to stained water, you can use that to your advantage.
Oh, boy.
And we're seeing the bass, not so much the stripers, some degree of the stripers, but a lot of bass have pulled up in that stained water because it's not new anymore. Mm-hmm. We've got quite a few fish that are shallow, a lot of big fish roaming shallow.
Okay.
When a lake comes up, I think bass will tend to come up with it. The drawback with that, and I talked with Scott about this last week, it scatters them some. So you catch a lot of singles. So you need a high saturation technique, which this is right up your alley. And I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody what color it is because I'm going to beat you to the punch. Any color's fine as long as it's chartreuse. Get you a spinner bait and start pounding the banks.
That's exactly right.
So, and that will get stronger as the water heats up. Now, it is more of, I think, of a plastics bite right now.
Something slow.
Fish seem to be really tight to the bottom, but stuff you can see, little rocks, piles of rocks. Doxers fish all over docks. But all in all, fishing's good. Don't let all this stuff keep you at home. It's very well worthwhile to get out on the lake this weekend.
Well, one of the points to be made, I think, when you make recommendations, and I do, and we always dish out this advice, if you use a white spinnerbait instead of a chartreuse spinnerbait, that's not going to mean that you're going to catch, the guy with the chartreuse is going to catch 50 and the other guy's going to catch 1.
Yes.
No, it means that the chartreuse bite might get you an extra 3 or 4 fish.
Yeah, and you also got to factor this in. The guy with the chartreuse bait may catch more than you, but maybe he's doing something different.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Maybe he's using a heavier bait, a lighter bait. Maybe he's using heavier line, lighter line.
That's right.
So,
all right, tell people how to be in touch with you so they can get your weekly report on Lake Lanier.
They can find the report. We do one for Lanier and Hartwell. They're at CaptainMax.com. You can go to our Facebook page. They're there every week, usually on we usually try and post them on Thursday, so you have plenty of time to get ready for the weekend. And try and make them, we used to put them up on Friday and Saturday, and guys complained. They wanted to see them before that. But you can always check it on your mobile. Yeah, check them out, CaptainMax.com.
You bet. Whoever is you're using as a photographer does a wonderful job.
Well, that would be me. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Actually, that's my wife. And
I thought so.
The in-water shots you see, that's Lynn swimming.
No kidding.
Hats off to her. She'll jump in a heartbeat with a camera, and she's gotten some really cool pictures.
Oh, indeed. Well, everybody can check that out.
Yep, check it out. And as soon as it gets warm, we'll get you some more, but not now.
Mighty fine. Okay. Thanks for calling, Mac.
Have a great weekend. Everybody go fishing. Be safe. Have fun.
See you later, pal. There you go. All right, it's 19 after the hour. I doubt we can get to another call right now, so you guys hold on. Let me get this question. I'll do the true turn tackle tip. My friend TJ Stallings is a fabulous fisherman. He's deceased now, but he always had great recommendations about tackle tips and behavior. Keep this in mind. This is directly from TJ. Be careful at the ramp. Have your rig ready to launch when it's your turn. Do not back up to the ramp, then load the boat from your vehicle. This wastes other people's or other anglers waiting to put in and take out while you do your house cleaning. If your boat is ready to launch and you have some extra time to wait, pick up the trash from around the ramp and help others with their boats, or even talk to the other anglers and offer encouragement. See, that was TJ Stallings. It was always with him, and he was such a prince of a fella. He was always thinking about you, what he could do for you, what he could do for the anglers. He was an absolute prince of a guy, and I really do miss him, and that's why we have TJ's True Turn Tackle Tips on the show every single week. Now, I wanted to do one other thing here. Oh, let's go ahead. We'll put out the radio prize package question, and then we can receive calls on that. The radio prize package, let me find it. Hold on. Radio prize package. I've got time. Radio prize package. You can win the first correct caller. You have to be 18 years old and not won before. You get a Bojangles gift card, a Big Green Egg koozie, an Angler magazine, DNR Regs magazine, Canter's Fisher's Choice baits, a selection of True Turn tackle, an Arctic Ice travel pack, a moon phase clock, and a HydroShot glass. First correct answer to the following question at the numbers which you already know. And the question is, O'Neill Outside radio program is on WSB radio and another network of outdoor sports stations. What's the name of that network? You should get that easily. This is O'Neill. Call now, win the prize package, and I'll be back.
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
After 38 years, our buildings speak for themselves. Dream, design, and build at toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
With Arctic ice in your cooler, the possibilities are endless. Built in the USA, built to last. Never buy ice again. Arctic ice, no hassle, no mess, colder than the rest.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works AeroCart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is AeroCart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, AeroCart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works AeroCart today. Available at Works.com.
The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment combines a rugged gear-driven tiller with the proven seed delivery and cultipacking systems that made the Verminator famous. The RT heavy-duty tiller allows true one-pass planting in most soil types like never before. An added feature is the tiller and seeder can be separated and used independently, making the RT perfect for a small garden at home or a large field food plot. The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're opened. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
Welcome back, 25 after the hour. This is O'Neill Outside, the #1 live outdoor-based radio program in the country. And it's because you guys participate in the calls. So let's go ahead and do one of these right now. Let's talk to Wade. And Wade is calling. Oh, Wade is just, hold on. That's the wrong one. I'm sorry, everybody. Let's talk now to Richard is calling from West Virginia. Good morning, Richard.
Well, I definitely know the answer to your trivia question.
Oh, well, yeah, but you were on the line already, so we can't do that. We have to stage it some way. But welcome to the program in any case. It's good to hear your voice.
Okay, what I wanted to ask about was, and I think it was Captain Mack that talks about it, it's striper fishing.
Yes.
And I wondered when striper fishing, I guess I didn't even know until we was thinking what a striper was, and a striper is a bass. I guess it's a striped bass.
Yes.
Is that just a bass just located in some parts of the country? Because up here, I'd never heard of anybody catching a striped bass.
Well, let me give you just a little bit of the history. Now, a striper is a saltwater fish, and he is a true bass. But much like a salmon, the best illustration, a striper travels from salt water into fresh water to spawn. And it was about 30 years ago that the stripers along the Atlantic coast traveled up the river, the Santee River, and they were in the river when they swam for Santee Cooper Lakes. And they trapped those stripers in the lake. And since then, the Department of Natural Resources has a massive program all along from, my goodness, nationwide. So that's how that happened. It's interesting, as you pointed out, a striper is a bass. A largemouth bass is a sunfish. That's how it happened. And if you don't have stripers in your lakes up there, it's only because the Department of Resources hasn't put them there.
Yeah, because I never heard of them. I mean, we have the regulars like, just regular rainbow and brook and things like that, but we don't have as far as I know, we don't have stripers. Do they have to be in a lake? They'd say they have to be in a lake, because he refers to like a reservoir, and I'm not sure what the difference is between reservoir, lakes. We have a big lake around here called Tappan Lake, but it's about an hour from here, so I don't know if they would have stripers in there or not. So you would have to contact your department.
It very well could be.
So you have to.
Department of Natural Resources. The only time that a striper is in a freshwater lake and then ends up in the stream that feeds the lake is when he tries to go up the river to spawn, and it's usually it is unsuccessful generally because the water is not proper.
I just want to ask you this one other thing, because I think you're pretty familiar with Captain Mack. Do you know if he ever qualified for the Bassmaster tournament or ever tried to get in it?
Not to my knowledge. I know he's a successful tournament fisherman from a couple of 3 decades ago, as I was. But now he's a full-time guide, and believe me, a successful tournament bass fisherman, that's all he does. He doesn't guide, or very, very seldom does that. That's a completely different guy. So, no, Mac has never been in the Bassmasters Classic or anything of that nature.
I've heard him say before that Bassmaster, it's a show that comes on after you here on the network, and they talk about it's a very physically demanding sport, and it's tough to get into the Bassmaster. I don't know, it's just me being ignorant. I don't know what's so physically demanding about bass fishing. What's so physically demanding about that?
Well, if you were ever in a tournament or had the opportunity to watch a tournament bass fisherman, he may make 10,000 casts in 6 hours. I can't do it anymore. But they are extremely hardworking, prompt. They are lightning fast with the hook sets. That's a different guy. It's like the fella who plays golf at the local club versus Tiger Woods. It's a huge difference, but they could be playing the same day, but you could tell the difference between the two. It's a different guy.
All right, thank you.
Very special, very special occupation. Very.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
I always enjoy hearing your questions. They're all well thought out. Oh, I lost Wade. Okay. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. The radio package question is, what is the name of the radio network that O'Neill uses nationwide? Let's talk quickly to Alan from Madison. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, sir.
Alan. Okay,
yes,
what's
sir.
the name of the network?
The SB Nation.
Okay. SB Nation, nationwide, Seattle to Los Angeles to Maine to Florida, and you got it right. Give us a couple of weeks now to get your package to you.
Yes, sir, I appreciate it.
You bet. Appreciate you listening to the program and participating in the radio prize package. That was well done.
Thank you.
I guess you must listen enough to know, obviously. There you go. And let's see, it's 32 after the hour. Let's talk now to Brad is calling from Kennesaw, Georgia. Good morning, Brad. This is O'Neill. Welcome.
Morning, O'Neill. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Hey, good morning.
I wanted to make a comment on the global warming discussion you had earlier. When I was a kid.
Okay, please do.
The teacher that I was under at that time, he decided we're going to do an experiment, and we had two large terrariums, probably about 3 feet long, and we put about 4 inches of dirt in the bottom of each one, and made a little pool off to one side, lowered the dirt level on one side, and poured water in there, and then we planted plants all around in there and everything, in both of them. And then he took a glass the same size at the top and laid wax all around the edge and set the glass on it, except in 2 corners he put a straw in each one. Then he took a compressed air can of oxygen, and he filled the one terrarium full of oxygen and then pulled the straws out and sealed them up tight. And then put a compressed air full of CO2 in the other one and filled it all up, pulled the straws out and sealed them up tight and put them all up in the window. And the one with the CO2 in it thrived. The plants got thick and lush and big. And the ones with the oxygen, some of the plants died out, but most of them lived, but they just didn't do much, They didn't get very big. And what that tells me is that, the plants need the CO2, and they give off the oxygen, and that's their way of balancing the carbon dioxide oxygen levels. And even if it, causes the temperature to rise, it'll be a temporary thing because, we're going to have a heavy growth of plant life that's going to cause, create more oxygen and lower the carbon dioxide levels. And so,
that's right. CO2 is good
for the plants. Yeah, it's great for the plants, and we need CO2.
Absolutely,
to be here for the process of the plants to create the oxygen for us.
Correct. It's really, and I thank you for that. It's really, Brad. It's really simple. And it's been repeated 6 times in the last 18,000 years. So this is not a mystery. Yes. No. Cooling, heating, high oxygen or high CO2, low CO2, and there wasn't a single power plant, there wasn't a single car, there wasn't a single diesel truck, there was nothing that caused it, that man had anything to do with it.
Those dinosaurs
and it will repeat. It will repeat again, but not when you and I are around, because it's going to take a long time.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
I thank you for calling and your comment on that subject. I really do.
You have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Maybe we've had a little epiphany, if you will. So Scott and Hank and everybody hold on. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. I've got just a few seconds. I was going to do the mailbag, but I won't. I will just wish and hope that you will make, it's going to be a nice weekend across the country. As best you can, make it an opportunity, squirrel hunting, walk in the woods, whatever, for you to spend some time with a youngster, a little boy, a little girl, and teach them something about the outdoors. It's fascinating. We'll be back.
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
After 38 years, our buildings speak for themselves. Dream, design, and build at toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
With Arctic ice in your cooler, the possibilities are endless. Built in the USA. Built to last. Never buy ice again. Arctic Ice. No hassle, no mess. Colder than the rest.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works Aero Cart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is Aero Cart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, Aero Cart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works Aero Cart today. Available at works.com.
The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment combines a rugged gear-driven tiller with the proven seed delivery and cultipacking systems that made the Verminator famous. The RT heavy-duty tiller allows true one-pass planting in most soil types like never before. An added feature is the tiller and seeder can be separated and used independently, making the RT perfect for a small garden at home or a large field food plot. The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're open. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
Welcome back, everyone. 40 minutes after the hour. Here's a great opportunity to learn something. Here's Hank the Yank. What do you say, my good friend?
Good morning, Mr. Williams. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm doing good. I can't complain. I'm just watching the lake get lower. You know, people say they're watching the leaves dry out and stuff. We're watching the lake try to get lower. So we're down to about 4.75 above full pool, 4.75, and if the core continues to run linear for the next 2 days, we should get down to about 4 feet or thereabouts. Pretty close.
Good.
We'll be pretty close.
It's been a long time since.
Boy, I'll tell you.
It's been a long time. Excuse me, but it's been a long time, if ever, that it's been this full.
Yes, it really. I mean, we had it up 2 years ago, but it came down kind of quick. This is staying full for long periods of time. It's ridiculous. It's and for those listeners out there that are just not as astute on the fishing side of things, when you're fishing fresh water, be it a lake, be it a river, high water is not usually the most fun time to fish. When the water is lower, the fish get more congregated, the bait gets more they're just easier to find. They can spread out and roam a lot easier on high water, and you don't realize what 1 or 2 or 3 foot above a lake's full level means, and more or less, and we're at 6 feet. So my dock is fine. The electrical box just dried out yesterday. The water came down from above the electrical box on our docks. So we'll probably be able to turn the power back on and start charging trolling motor batteries and such, and we'll be able to start going fishing again. But for any of those anglers that want to take a peek at linear for stripers with a fly rod or even with light tackle, my suggestion, you can't fish north. North is just a big old mud ball. It looks like chocolate milk when you go above the Chestatee. If you're in the Chattahoochee where the Chestatee and the Chattahoochee meet, it is absolutely chocolate brown. So you're going to have to stay below the Chestatee River at the Chattahoochee, which basically means you're going to be fishing the big part of the lake below Brown's Bridge. And what I'd suggest to any anglers, again, using fly rods, this is the time of the year as that water temp starts to warm up a little bit, and it will in the next week or two. You want to be fishing the backs of the coves. That's where you're going to find your fish. You're going to see them in shallow water in the very, very backs of the coves, and we've got tons of creeks on the south end of the lake. We've probably got at least 8 or 9 big creeks on the south end of the lake, and you just need to get in the backs of those creeks and start pounding the banks back in there early in the morning and late in the day, and that's where you're going to find your fish. So that's kind of what needs to be done.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm remembering correctly, it was February or early March when 10 or 12 or so years ago, you took me to Lake Lanier, and I caught my first big striper on a fly rod.
Well, that's
was it not?
Partially correct. The incorrect part, it was 20 years ago.
Oh, well. Okay.
It wasn't 10 or 12 years ago. That was around 2000 that you, in 1999 or 2000 that you and I went. It was a long time ago, pal. That's before neither of us were gray. You had more hair and I wasn't gray at all. But, you know, that is correct. And we caught those fish, if you remember, in the back of a cove with a creek running through it. And I can still see to this day you taking my coyote fly, putting it on the bank, and we had one striper running the bank from left to right and another striper running the bank from right to left, and you threw that fly right in between, and the one on the left just surged to grab that fly. We were in super crystal clear water in 3 feet of water. You saw that take 100%. We saw the whole thing. It was a great thing. But O'Neill, before I let you go,
12-pounder, wasn't it?
It was a 12-pounder. That was a great fish. And, you know, back in those days, Lanier's fish probably averaged between 8 and 12 pounds. And today our average has certainly come down some. We're probably seeing fish on average between 5 and 8 pounds. Not that we don't get 10s and 12s and 15s. We still see them. We just don't have quite the size we used to have. And that's just, you know, that just comes and goes over the years. That changes, obviously.
Absolutely.
But I do want to let everybody know, I don't know that there's any local anglers here in North Georgia, but in 2 weeks, Alpharetta Outfitters here in Alpharetta, it's a fly shop, is sponsoring the 3rd annual Southern Striper Open, where it's a no-kill fly fishing tournament only, and we'll probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 to 70 anglers participating, and all proceeds, 100% of all the proceeds, goes towards Project Healing Waters, which is an organization that takes our veterans out fly fishing and gets their heads back in where it needs to be from whatever they've suffered from, whether it's a physical injury or a mental injury. We get them out on the water and we take them fly fishing, and we'll have some vets out in the boats for that tournament, but 100% of the proceeds goes to Project Healing Waters, and that'll be the weekend of the 13th and 14th. If you want to join up, there's plenty of room still for boats to come in and join up from Alpharetta Outfitters.
Good.
Great tournament with a great message.
I love hearing that. Yes.
I know you do. I know you do. So it's really rewarding when you get the vets out in the boat and they're having a good time, and you want to know what gets the hair on the back of your neck to stand up and tingle and feel that tingle. You take a vet out fishing and you'll see how rewarding that really feels.
You bet. You bet.
All right,
great
pal.
information, Henry.
Okay, well, you have a great weekend, and we'll speak to you next week.
You bet. I hope so. You bet. All right, quickly then, at 46 after the hour, let's talk to Scott is calling from Ackworth. Good morning, Scott.
Morning, O'Neill.
Hey.
Good talk with you.
You bet.
To share a trip I've been blessed to go on February the 10th. We went to Los Buenos, Costa Rica.
Oh, boy.
And we went out and with a guide, and we caught 22 sailfish in 6 hours.
Isn't that fabulous?
That was the most beautiful, awesome trip I ever been on. I just want to share that because me and my wife and my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and some friends, the Lord has just created so much beautiful places to fish, and I was blessed to go. And I just wanted to share that. It was just so awesome.
Did you were you were offshore? Did you tease them up to the boat and then throw at them?
Yes, sir. They had the outriggers where it kind of swung it out wide, plus the one straight behind, and there's like the little pink squid schools, you know, and the fish, and then you'd have a regular fish on the end, and it was just so fun.
Oh, that's
it wore me
great.
out. I ain't gonna lie.
That's great.
Right. Yes,
I hope
sir.
you took a lot of photos.
I did. And also, I'm a big turkey hunter, and you was talking about turkey hunting. They're already strutting. I got my spy point cameras out, and they're already strutting and starting to gobble some.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So,
well, Let me quickly then, in the next few seconds, you tell me what is the biggest mistake that the average turkey hunter makes?
Movement.
Well, beyond that, that's a given.
Yes, you got to have patience.
Yeah, patience. And most people, I'll jump in because I need to get to something else, but most people call too much.
Yes, I totally agree.
They call too much. Absolutely.
When the bird is out of sight and you think you're about to see him, lay your calls down. Because, if you just keep calling like they do on TV, you're gonna spook the bird a lot of times, and or he's coming in looking, and
he'll stop 100 yards away, and you'll never see him.
Yes, sir.
That's right. You call too much.
Yes, sir.
All right, mighty fine. Good luck. If I don't talk to you, good luck for this season. But you be sure and check in with us, Scott. Okay.
You too. Enjoy your show.
You bet. Thanks for calling, my good friend. Thank you so much. I really appreciate being able to hear about these trips that these guys take. And now, with the cooperation of the engineers at WSB, we'll start the process for the Medal of Honor tribute.
Honor, courage, and strength of character. These qualities are embodied by the recipients of the Medal of Honor. Now let's recognize this week's Medal of Honor recipient on O'Neill Outside.
Specialist Robert Patterson, U.S. Army, Vietnam, 1968. The 3rd Platoon was pinned down by heavy interlocking automatic weapons and rocket-propelled grenade fire from 2 enemy bunkers. Patterson and 2 other members of his assault team moved forward under a hail of enemy fire to destroy the bunkers with grenades and machine gun fire. Observing that his fellow soldiers were being fired upon from a 3rd enemy bunker covered by enemy gunners in one-man spider holes, Patterson, with complete disregard for his safety and ignoring the warnings of his other soldiers that he was moving into a bunker complex, he assaulted and destroyed the entire position. Although exposed to intensive small arm and grenade fire from the bunkers and their mutually supporting emplacement, he killed them all. Sergeant Patterson continued his assault on the bunkers, single-handedly destroying 5 of the bunkers. He killed 8 of the Vietnam enemy soldiers and captured 7 weapons. Dauntless courage and heroism inspired his platoon to resume the attack and to penetrate the enemy positions. Sergeant Patterson's action at the risk of his life has reflected great credit upon himself, his unit, and the U.S. Army. Sergeant Robert Patterson is now 71 years old, and he lives in Durham, North Carolina. It's 51 after the hour, and that is your Medal of Honor tribute. And one of these days, in the next few weeks, I won't take the time to do it now, but I'll tell you about, again, why we do that. Because the description you just heard is that of a hero. He's not a rock star, not a professional athlete, not a singer, not a rapper. He is a hero. And he offered himself as a sacrifice, which didn't happen in this case, to protect his fellow soldiers. That is a bond that I personally will never witness, because as I've taken the time so personally to tell you many times before, my father was a fighter pilot, and he died when he was 21 years old for the Army Air Corps, and I was 6 weeks old at the time. My mother remarried when I was 3, and a wonderful man who was a radio operator on a B-29, and he made 25 missions over Japan out of Tinian and Iwo Jima and other islands, and he was the only man in his radio class to return alive. I have some terrific stories to tell, and maybe we'll do that one day on the radio show. 53 after the hour. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside Radio. 2 hours of outdoors every Saturday morning. Outdoors, hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, and encouragement for you to make the outdoors part of your lifestyle. And we'll have a few more comments about that when we return.
If you think a tin shed can hold up like a tough shed, you're in for a big surprise.
After 38 years, our buildings speak for themselves. Dream, design, and build at toughshed.com.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get your projects done twice as fast. Say goodbye to all the hassle of an ordinary drill. Switch in a second from drilling to driving, Phillips to flat, drill bit to paddle bit, screwdriver to socket. Power through your projects faster and easier with the most innovative drill driver available, the Works Switch Driver. Get yours today.
With Arctic ice in your cooler, the possibilities are endless. Built in the USA, built to last. Never buy ice again. Arctic ice, no hassle, no mess, colder than the rest.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works Aero Cart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is Aero Cart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, Aero Cart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works Aero Cart today. Available at works.com.
The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment combines a rugged gear-driven tiller with the proven seed delivery and cultipacking systems that made the Verminator famous. The RT heavy-duty tiller allows true one-pass planting in most soil types like never before. An added feature is the tiller and seeder can be separated and used independently, making the RT perfect for a small garden at home or a large field food plot. The Verminator RT by Renews Outdoor Equipment.
Be ready to go fishing anytime with Fisher's Choice canned baits. Yes, canned baits. Real shrimp, worms, and crickets. Preserved and packaged in a way for you to keep and use whenever you want to go fishing. They stay soft and moist. They look and feel like live bait. Panfish just love them. Unopened, they have a 5-year shelf life, 2 weeks after they're opened. Order online at TimbuktuOutdoors.com.
I'm about to round up another cup of coffee. The first 2 cups of coffee I had this morning, they were awful. But before we do that, let's chat with Dave. He's calling from Sharpston. Good morning, Dave. You ready
Hey,
for
good
turkey
morning.
hunting?
How are you, buddy?
Good.
Say, talking about turkey hunting there, I'll just give some people some tips there.
Please.
Calling too much is definitely a problem when you're not getting any bites from the turkeys. Number 2 is patience. Like you said, patience is the biggest thing. Just give you an example. Hunting in the morning, this was back up in Pennsylvania in Burgerstown, PA. Turkeys weren't answering, and a crack of thunder about 10 o'clock in the morning is what brought life to about 3 toms standing behind me.
Oh boy.
And another thing, I don't know, you don't hear too much about the wing bone turkey call.
Mm-hmm.
An old timer gave me one, a wing bone turkey call. Have you ever used one?
I have one, and I have used it sparingly.
Yes. And an old timer made it for you, or did you make it yourself?
I believe, and maybe you can testify to the following too, but I got to get out of here. In my turkey hunting, I have taken more turkeys at 10 o'clock in the morning than I have at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, same here, exactly.
And I never moved the whole time.
Exactly. Well, hey, thank you. God bless you for doing what you're doing for the military boys. They deserve everything and all the recognition that you give them.
You bet. Thanks, pal. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling. Call more often, Dave. I'd love to hear from you.
Will do, buddy. You take care. God bless.
You
Bye-bye.
bet. Okay, 58 and a half after the hour. This is O'Neill. Another O'Neill Outside radio program is about to conclude. I hope you enjoyed it. Make plans to call. Let's talk about spring fishing, turkey hunting, the tips, the radio prize package, the Medal of Honor, and all those things maybe they can get you started toward a great weekend together with the most important thing, and it's this. If you're too busy to go fishing and hunting and take a kid along, believe me, you're too busy. Plan for it now for the springtime, would you? You'll get more out of it than the kids will. Take your camera, make it a lifetime experience. This is O'Neill. Many thanks to Houston and Brian and Cody and Jason. It made Corey and Jason. And we'll see you guys next week.
I once asked a mighty hunter, coming home from the field, how he came to possess such mighty hunting and fishing skill. He said, I'll tell you a secret, son. I learned everything I know from listening to O'Neill Outside on my radio. O'Neill, O'Neill,